I didn't come here to vent or farm sympathy. I came here because the way this all unfolded still doesn't feel real, and every time I replay it, there's a different moment that hits harder. It wasn't one big explosion. It was a slow, quiet pressure that built up while I kept telling myself I was overreacting. 7 years married, 10 together, normal life, shared routines, inside jokes, the kind of relationship that looks boring from the outside, but safe from the inside. Until something small started showing up again and again, and each time it left this tight feeling in my chest that I couldn't shake. She said it was just a joke. That's how it always started. A laugh, a glance at me, a quick pullback the moment I showed any reaction. The first time, at a dinner with friends, I remember the way the table went quiet for half a second after she said it, like everyone clocked it, but didn't want to be the one to comment. Someone mentioned an open couple they knew, and my wife laughed and said it sounded kind of nice sometimes. She looked right at me, smiling, waiting. I laughed because that's what you do when you don't want to derail a night. Later in the car, I asked her what she meant. She shrugged and told me to relax. She said it was just a joke. I told myself that was enough. I didn't want to be the guy who can't take humor. I didn't want to make a mountain out of nothing. But the jokes didn't stop. They evolved. They showed up in different settings, with different tones, sometimes playful, sometimes sharp, sometimes whispered, sometimes loud enough for other people to hear. Every time she'd say it and then watch me, like she was checking how far she could go. She joked about adding someone else. She'd be scrolling through her phone at night and show me some reel about poly couples splitting chores, laughing about how efficient it sounded. We could have a boyfriend and a girlfriend and never argue about dishes again, she'd say, nudging me. When I didn't laugh, she'd roll her eyes and call me uptight. If we argued about something stupid, like who forgot to buy cat food, she'd toss out, "This is why people have side partners." Then immediately say she was kidding. I started to feel tested. That's the only word that fits. Like she was floating an idea and yanking it back the second I reached for it. I tried to bring it up calmly. I waited for a quiet night, no alcohol, no distractions. I asked her straight up if she was actually interested in non-monogamy or if this was just a bit. She sighed, told me I was reading too much into it, told me it's 2026 and people joke about this now. She said I was overthinking. Our sex life had slowed down over the past year. Not gone, but different. Less spontaneous, more scheduled. I blamed work stress, aging, routine. She was on her phone more at night, thumbs flying, screen tilted away from me just enough that I noticed but pretended not to. I didn't check her phone. I didn't accuse her of anything. I kept telling myself I didn't have proof, so I didn't have a problem. I laughed when I felt uncomfortable. The worst moment before everything broke was at a bar with her friends. She'd had a couple drinks and said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "If you ever get tired of me, you can just add someone, right?" Everyone laughed. I froze and did that fake laugh people do when they don't know what else to do. On the way home, I told her it embarrassed me. She got annoyed and said I was making it a thing. Trust started slipping quietly. I didn't sleep well after that. I kept replaying the tone she used, the way she didn't look surprised by her own words, the way her friends laughed but didn't look shocked, like this wasn't new information to them. I told myself that was paranoia. I told myself I was projecting. She said I was controlling. That word came up when I asked her to stop making the jokes. I didn't ask her to change her beliefs. I didn't tell her what she could or couldn't think. I just said it hurt and I wanted it to stop. She said I was trying to police her humor. She said I was insecure. She said I was making her feel trapped. Something felt off every night. The micro moments piled up. Her phone face down on the table. Bathroom breaks that took a little longer. New passwords. A sudden interest in working late, in grabbing drinks after work with the team. I didn't confront her because every time I imagined the conversation, I heard her voice telling me I was reading into things. I didn't want to be that guy. The turning point didn't come from snooping. It came from exhaustion. One night she fell asleep on the couch with her phone still unlocked in her hand. I noticed because it buzzed. I told myself I could just plug it in and walk away. I didn't. I saw his name first. It wasn't explicit, at least not at the top. Just inside jokes, familiar shorthand, the kind of tone you only use with someone you talk to all the time. My stomach dropped anyway. I scrolled. I shouldn't have, but I did. Complaints about me framed as jokes. References to the open relationship comments. A message from him saying he liked how bold she was. She said nothing physical happened. That was her line when I woke her up. She looked panicked, but not surprised, like she'd rehearsed this version. She said it was just flirting. She said it made her feel desired. She said she didn't think I'd take it so seriously. She said it wasn't cheating because nothing had happened yet. I felt stupid for trusting. I asked how long. She said a few months. The same timeline as the jokes. The same timeline as my gut twisting every time she laughed and pulled back. I asked if he knew about me. She said yes. I asked if they'd talked about meeting. She hesitated. I stopped believing the jokes. She admitted they'd kissed once after drinks. She swore it stopped there. She cried. She apologized. She said she never planned for it to go that far. She said the jokes were her way of testing how I'd react. She tested the marriage. That was the moment something inside me snapped into clarity. Not rage, not screaming, just a quiet understanding that the ground had shifted while I was trying to keep things calm. The jokes weren't jokes. They were probes. They were permission checks. I lost trust in one night. We talked for hours, calmly, painfully. I asked questions I didn't want answers to. She answered some, dodged others. I told her how small I'd felt laughing along in public, how crazy I felt being told it was all in my head. She said she didn't think it would hurt me like this. She asked for another chance. She offered therapy. She offered transparency. She offered to cut contact. She cried and said she loved me. I believed she was sorry. I didn't believe she hadn't known what she was doing. I needed space to think. I moved into the guest room. The house felt different immediately. Too quiet, too familiar. Every shared object felt heavy. I replayed the jokes again, but now they sounded cruel instead of playful. The marriage felt smaller. We're still technically together. We're talking. We're deciding what happens next. I haven't yelled. I haven't slammed doors. I haven't told our friends. I don't know if that makes me mature or just tired. I don't laugh at the jokes anymore. Sometimes I wonder if I should have pushed harder earlier, if setting a boundary sooner would have stopped it, or if the jokes were just the surface of something already broken. I'm trying to decide what I deserve. So here's my question to you. When someone uses jokes to test loyalty, then calls you crazy for taking them seriously, is that something you can come back from? Or is the damage already done?